today's show, I'll show you how you can make a 10-foot long fall leaf garland with super realistic leaves, all made with 1 pack of brown lunch paper bags. Okay, so I went outside and I picked up a bunch of different shaped leaves, and I decided I'm going to create my own garland, my own fall leaf garland. So I picked up a bunch of leaves that had fallen and also leaves that had not fallen, because these would be easier to trace. I got a lot of different sizes. Got round one and star-shaped ones. So I'm going to trace these on paper bags because they're brown already. They're almost the color of fallen leaves and pretty close. So I bought this pack of 30 count lunch bags. So I'm going to use this to trace my leaves with. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different shapes, so I should have enough leaves to make garland. If not, I'll buy another pack. But the first thing I'll need to do is to turn these bags into a flat sheet of paper so that I could work with it. And I don't need the bottom part of this. There's a lot of folds in here, so what I'm going to do is cut the bottom part off, and then I'm going to open this up and cut one side on the fold. So that I have a whole sheet of paper. And I'm going to go through and cut the rest of my bags the same way. And you could stack them and just maybe do a few of them at a time. Open, fold those up this way, and then I want to make sure the notches line up too. Okay, and then I can draw my leaves on top of this and cut them out in stacks. So now I want to position my leaves on the bag. And there, you see here, there's a line here where the bag is attached. I don't want the leaves to go over that because I don't want it to have a line in it. So I'm going to position this leaf here and then the other leaves so that they all fit on. So I'm going to get a pencil and just start tracing these leaves. This one I'm going to have to add a point. So I can get some accurate size leaves. Okay, so here is my paper bag with my leaves drawn on it. You could also use something like a roll of wrapping paper, packing paper, and cut pages out of that. Okay, so I cut out my stack of bags here, and I also traced over so you can see the shapes of these leaves. So I'm going to put this on top of the stack. What I'm going to do first, though, I'm going to cut out sections. I'm going to use some paper clips just to hold them together. Okay, and we'll just start with cutting out this one here. Okay, so I'm just going to take as many as I think I can cut. And I'm going to just pin them together with a paper clip so they stay in place. And if you had scissors that had like a pattern on it, you could get some craft scissors like this. These are the only ones I have. This has a pattern that's too big for the edges. Maybe something finer. Then you could have those rigid edges like most of these leaves have. So you can see in here there's these little bumps in it. I'm just gonna cut it out kind of roughly so that it'll have sort of those little ridges at the end. So I'm just gonna like go through and kind of make a bumpy cut. So I'm just going to leave sort of a stem here. Okay, so I'm going to take this one or the leaf and use it to trace the other stack that I have here and cut that out too. But before I do that, some of these pieces I might save in case I need more leaves. This is big enough to make another leaf, so I'm just going to set that aside in case I need more leaves for my garland. What I'm going to do with these leaves, you can see there are veins in this leaf, and I want to kind of recreate those veins, at least the big ones. So I'm going to start by folding this stack down the middle where the stem is. And then there's actually, I'm going to fold between each of the leaves to give them veins. That will make it feel more like a leaf with all the veins in it. Also fold the leaves back and forth like this to give you more smaller veins in between. What I think I'm going to do with each of these to make it more like fall leaves is also kind of crumple it up. It gives you more of a fall leaf look. So I'm going to go through and cut out the rest of my leaves. But I'm going to leave these in a stack because I may decide to paint them. I'm not sure. I'll have to see when I put some of them together what they look like. If it'll look nice with the same color, if I need to add different colors to it to make it feel more like fall. Maybe I could do some darker leaves like this. but we'll see. First I'm going to cut them all out. Actually, really, as I'm cutting these out, I realize you don't really have to worry about the stems, because I'm going to attach these two stems that I'm making out of wire, so you can cut the stems off. And then if you want, you could crumple it up a little bit. You could crumple the whole stack, or you could crumple each individual one. So I cut all my leaf shapes, and I'm gonna have to decide if I'm gonna paint these. So I think I want some variation. I think I want a little red, maybe a little green. So I do have some paint. I have some like a subtle green color, and I have this is a flat red. It looks brown. It's kind of a brownish red. So I'm going to lay these out and spray the leaves just to make some variations. I'm going to keep one, this bag brown color, and then paint two of them. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I went out where I could get some ventilation, and I laid out all my leaves in groups. And on this side, I'm spray painting the green leaves, and the other side will be reddish brown. And in the center, I think I'll do a combination of the two. So this is not going to be easy, see, because the leaves are blowing all over the place. So normally I usually spray paint the leaves while they're on the vine, and they stay better in place. But I'm not sure how I'm going to place them on the vine yet, so I'm spray painting them individually. And I'm spray painting them only on one side. So over here it'll be a subtle green, and on the other side I'm spray painting that brownish red color. And I'm going to let half of that spill over to some of these green leaves. So I'll get another kind of greenish red color. Now this is only 3 different shapes of leaves. The other shape I left inside because I'm going to leave that the color of the paper bag brown. And as you can see, I'm spray painting these really lightly. I want them very subtle. I want them to be mostly a neutral brown color. That's the one thing I didn't like about the garland that I saw in the store. It was too bright and colorful and didn't look as real to me. So I want these to be really subtle and natural. On some of these, I also decided to add just a touch of yellow on the edges of the green and the red, just to give it a little more variation and a little more fall look. So while these are drying, I'll show you another way you can add some color to these if you don't want to spray paint them. So you could use watercolor. If you have some time, you can brush on a light coat of some color. Just a light coat of red or orange or green. Give it a little color for each of them. Or something like that. And then let that dry. You'll just have to go back and fold in the creases again. Okay, so while the leaves are drying, I want to do the vine for the garland. And I grabbed a couple of the leaves just so I could show you what they look like. Very subtle. I just did a light spray of red and green, and this is the other color, which is just the paper bag color that I'm going to use. So, and for the vine, I'm using this paper wire. Normally I would use green, but I do have this it's kind of a violet color, but I think it'll be perfect for, you know, for the fall leaves. So anyway, what I'm going to do while those are drying is I'm going to pull out a long strand of this wire to start with. I'll cut it. And I want to bring those two ends together. I'm folding it in half. So right where I fold the wire in half on the end, I'm going to start twisting it. And this will, I'll twist to about 2 inches. And this will be my first stem for the vine, for the garland. That will be right on one end of the vine. Next, I'm going to pull out another 2 or 3 inches from the left side wire and make a loop and start twisting that. So each of these I'm going to put a leaf on. Now I'll make another stem by pulling the right side wire out and twisting that. So now I have 3 stems extending at the top. I'm going to twist those 2 wires together and make a nice long stem at the bottom extending from those 3. I'm twisting about maybe 5 times, and then I'll add some more leaf stems by starting with the right side, making a loop. I think I might make these longer so that I have a nice variation for the leaves sizes or the leaf lengths. Now I'll take the left side wire and make another stem. So I just want to see how these will look. Make sure I have enough room for each leaf. Yeah, something like that for the garland. Okay, so I'm going down a little further and I'm going to start making stem groups of 6. I'm going to start with some smaller twists. I'll make these 2 stems about 1 inch long. Beneath those 2, I'll twist down some more to make a stem, and I'll make my second 2 stems a little bit longer than the first one, about medium length. Twist down some more, and then make those last 2 in this group longer than the 2 before. So now I have stems for 2 groups of leaves. I have the top, I have some space in between, and I have another 6 different length of the stems. And I'll just go down and create these stems for all my leaves on the vines this way. Also, when I'm attaching my leaves, I want all the ends to be flat and straight. So I'm going to use the pliers to sort of flatten the tips of them. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and make the stems for these leaves like this. So I want to make this garland about 10 feet long, and I am at the end of the first piece of wire that I cut. So let me show you how I add on to this wire. I pulled out another long piece and I folded it in half. So I'm going to cut this wire at the bottom here a little bit, and then I'm going to take the new wire from where I folded it and I'm going to loop it around the bottom two stems that I created. And just start twisting the pieces around the bottom stem of the last piece. And I'll twist them all together, make another stem underneath that set. Okay, so that's a little thicker at the bottom, and then I'm just going to start with making another group of 6. Okay, so I'm finished with my stem garland for my leaves. It's about 9.5 feet long. It has 25 groups of 6, so it'll hold about 150 leaves. Okay, so I have all of my leaves cut out. I'm going to get ready to attach these. I have them in groups, but I only have 120 leaves and I have 150 stems. So I'm going to do another 30 small ones. I'm going to draw a small leaf on, this is like the extra paper that I cut out so that I'll have 150 leaves. So I'm just going to do something really simple. Maybe a leaf that looks like this but smaller. That will fit within here. So I know a lot of you might say, you know what, you could buy garland, fall garland, and I just love the process of making things. It's so meditative. It might take a while, it might be repetitive, but there's something so calming and meditative about creating something. Even if it, if it takes a while, going through the process and seeing what comes of something of doing. There's something about doing, the process of doing things that is really rewarding. So that's why I do a lot of little tedious things. It's really meditative to me. So I have these little leaves. I'm going to shape them like the other ones. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 30. That'll give us 50. Let's start attaching these to our vine. Okay, I'm going to start with the green leaves on the ends. And I just kind of divided them up into 6 each. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 6. And I kind of shuffled them around so that they have, different variations. Because when I spray painted them, I added a little green to yellow to some of them so that they're a little bit different. But I want the long leaves, the green leaves on each end, so I'm going to do that first. I'm going to start with this end piece here, and I put a little hot glue on the edge of the stem. I'm going to take the leaf and sort of squeeze it at the end and just kind of open this up. Make sure the center has that crease in it. I'm going to crumple it a little just so it looks a little more realistic. But this I'm going to go through. You could put just a little sliver down the middle. And close that. Okay, for my next set, I think I'm going to alternate these two leaves. They look similar, but I like to have, you know, a different variety of color. I switch back to, you know, groups of leaves, but since the shape is kind of similar, I think I can get away with having two different types of leaves together. Look at that, it's looking really natural, like real leaves. Okay, so I started alternating the small leaves into here. So I have small leaves alternating with the bigger leaves. So I may have 4 big leaves and 4 small leaves on each of the groupings. And I also alternate the just the regular color paper with the red paper that was similar. Okay, I am finished with my fall garland and I really like it. Perfect colors. I think they're very natural and really fall. And it came out really, really nice. This is about a 10-foot piece of garland. And this is just from one pack of lunch bags. So I'm going to put this on my fireplace to see how it looks. Okay, this is the garland on my mantle, and like I said, this is great because you can position each piece, since it's on this paper wire, where you want it. I could go in and move the leaves up and down, and exactly where they need to be. And I love this, it's looking really realistic. It's got a nice, subtle variety of orange and red and brown and green, and it's really nice and subtle. And these fall leaves will be the perfect backdrop for my fall decorations. In my next video, we'll continue decorating my home for fall. See you all then. Follow me at Your House of Home and Your House of Home TV on all social media for extra home, food, and gardening tips.